Hey everyone, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty, giving you my weekly comic review for October 4th, 2023. Alright, for all those of you that are new to the channel, welcome aboard, as well as welcome to everybody that's been with the channel and supporting it for a long time. We greatly appreciate having all of you here. For those of you that are new, that don't understand, what I do is I go through a batch of comic books that I felt like reading this week. I give you my score on a scale of 0 through 10, 7 being average, like a 70% school grades, because sometimes people wonder why I made that score. But I don't just give you my score, I also give you the score from the League of Comics Geeks as well, to compare to my own, as well as giving just a brief overview of most of the comics in a little detail. Now, stick around and figure out so you hear which one is the bottom of the bin. Yeah, I'm going to save the bottom of the bin one for last. You don't want to miss it. What is your bottom of the bin issue? Let me know down in the comments below as well. So my first one I covered for this week was Batman issue 138. You might hear my notes here. I gave this issue a 7 out of 10, where 233 out of 285 liked it with an 82 total score with a 3.6 average rating, so they gave it a little bit higher score than what I did. Batman and Catwoman, the Gotham War Part 4 is here. Batman is on the ropes as Gotham War heats up following a shocking, yes, shocking betrayal. It's father versus son, teacher versus student in the knockout 4th chapter of this brutal war, but who is really pulling the strings in this explosive event? Well, the writer is Chip Zdarsky and artist is George Jimenez. Batman, I think, would never do what he did to Jason Todd in this issue. Sorry for the beeps in the background, things of that nature. Sometimes those things just happen. But anyway, what happens here is he poisons Jason Todd with a fear toxin. Whenever the adrenaline starts pumping, he's going to get fear. And I think this was completely and utterly ridiculous. It's something out of character for Batman, which, in my opinion, I think is kind of the point. I know a lot of people are not liking this because it's Batman's not in character. And I get that. I really do. But I think that's the whole point of this. Something's definitely wrong. And I think we're going to see why Batman's not being himself. If not, shame on you, Chip Zdarsky. You dropped a turd in the punch bowl on this one. But it is nice seeing Tim Drake as well using his smarts to beat Damian. He realizes, hey, I might not be the best combatant of all the Bat people, but he is probably the smartest tactician, and he uses his brains, uses what makes him special to win that fight. And that is something I do like to see, because I think Tim Drake is underplayed and been, well, let's be honest, he's been crapped on a ton right now by the DC writers for agendas. All right, my next one. This next one almost, man, I tell you, this was a contender. It was definitely a contender for the bottom of the bin, but the bottom really took it hard, actually. And this was Birds of Prey number 2. I gave it a 6 out of 10, whereas 197, though, out of 208 liked it on League of Comics Geeks with a 4.1 average rating. So they gave it a lot stronger score than I did. Kelly Thompson, you better be thanking them, because she's the writer and artist is Leonardo Romero. Black Canary's all-new team on their first mission. Black Canary has built an all-new team with a very specific and very dangerous first mission extraction. Their target? Well, I'm not going to tell you. Who are they going to go onto the Themyscira to get? Well, it's time to see. Black Canary brought up a weird group of characters to work as a team, and well, they're pretty dysfunctional. The art, in my opinion, holds this book down. It is not good. Come on, DC. We're getting a lot of this style lately. You can do better. It's overly simplistic art and overly simplistic colors and shading. I just don't like it. Poor coloring. The whole issue just seems unprofessional and cheap. Issue 2 really was, in my opinion, a bit of a mess and not worth it. What did you think of issue 2? I'm really interested because League of Comics Geeks really disagreed with me on this one. The next one I want to review is Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing. And this is number 11, by the way, and I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. League of Comics Geeks said 30 out of 34 liked it with a 3.9 average rating, so we're around the same. There, 2 Jokers walk into a bar and one won't be walking out. Both men who claim to be the Clown Prince of Crime are ready to end their little game, but they can't do it alone. The who's who's of Gotham's worst will pick sides and decide who lives, who dies, and who will get the last laugh. Writer Matthew Rosenberg, artist Carmen D. Gallo. I'm sorry, I just butchered your name, but that's okay. You know, this issue is some crazy Joker fun. The art's decent, and the last page, though, is a big reveal. If they're not jerking our chain and joking with us, because it is a Joker issue, the last page gives us the bombshell, a little bit of info of who is the real Joker. All right, with that said, my next one, I'm going to bump to Marvel on this one, which is the one I almost skipped, because I'm not a big fan of annuals, and they're usually a waste of money. But I've been really enjoying the Ghost Rider series, so I read Ghost Rider Annual 1, Ghost Rider vs. the Hood. It's a special Halloween style issue, and I gave it a 7.2 out of 10. League of Comics Geeks gave it a 31 out of 38 with 3.5 average. So what did Benjamin Piercy, the writer, say in this issue? What did he write? And the artist Danny Kim do? Well, happy Halloween, Ghost Rider. Halloween is a night for monsters. The Hood is one of those monsters. Can Ghost Rider and special guest Elsa Bloodstone put a stop to the Hood's plans? Or is this going to be the final Halloween? Really, you know what? Not a bad issue. Decent story, decent art. If you are a fan of Ghost Rider, you're probably going to want to get this. If you're not a big fan of Ghost Rider, though, you could probably skip it because it's not going to be anything too special. But once again, if you've been reading Ghost Rider, a fan, go ahead and get it. Otherwise, yeah, you could probably skip it. Not a bad book, though, overall. Now, this next one is a series that I've talked about a few times here, and I've reviewed every issue so far. And this is the final issue of that series, mini-series, I should say, and that's Peacemaker Tries Hard, issue number 6. I gave it a 7.15, where 64 out of 66 liked it with a 4.5 average rating on League of Comics Geeks. The writer is Kyle Starks, and artist is Steve Pugh. Peacemaker took on Deathstroke, well, not really, Chemo, and even the War Wheel, and can now confidently call himself a hero. Yeah, you know, because anytime a character is starting to get popular, we have to change him into a hero. But with the death and destruction in his wake, was it all worth it? More importantly, is anyone going to come to his birthday party? This is an interesting series. It's a definitely not a serious take on the character. It's really silly, but for some reason, I found it to be an entertaining read, decent art, and it even had a pretty okay ending. So if you're a fan of Peacemaker and you want to get this maybe in trade or get all 6, I don't think you're going to be disappointed if you're into comedic side. Though if you want a serious Peacemaker, you'll want to skip this one. It won't be for you. All right, my next one, I got to dig out my notes here, is Shazam number 4. Oops, I said Shazam. I must have changed, right? I'm not a big fan of him being called the Captain. I get it, what they're trying to do, and it makes sense. He can't say his name, and you know, he can't say his name and tell somebody who he is without changing. I really get that. That was a big flaw that was caught here. And the writer is Mark Waid, and the story artist is Dan Mora. Mark Waid and Dan Mora turned everything you know about the world's mightiest mortal on its head. Shadiness, hatefulness, arrogance, zeal, anger, malice. These are the new powers of Shazam, and if Billy doesn't find a way to get them under control, the lives of everyone around him will be forever destroyed. Well, 129 out of 133 liked it on League of Comics Geeks with a 4.3 average rating, where I thought that was pretty good. I gave it a 7.1, so they gave it a little higher than I did on this issue. I thought it was decent art, though. Decent story as well, and I think this is a good classic Shazam style for Shazam fans. I maybe shouldn't say classic, but it was a lot of fun for Shazam fans. So if you're a Shazam fan, or the Captain I should say now, I would definitely consider checking this out. I don't think you'll be disappointed on it. It's pretty good. And speaking of captains and disappointment, let's go to Captain Marvel Dark Tempest issue number 4, where I give this issue a 7. Yeah, 7. Think about this now. It's a mini-series. A mini-series needs to get higher than just mid. If not, why was there a mini-series? If it wasn't better, why did they give it a mini-series in the first place? 9 out of 13 liked it, which is showing that probably not a lot of people are buying this, with a 3.1 average rating, which is right around where I gave it. And the writer is Ann Nocenti. Sorry, Ann, I butchered your name. And artist Paolo Villani. See, I'm not being sexist here, I'm just butchering names. In the eye of the storm, Captain Marvel knows what it means to brave rough waters. There's no tsunami in the multiverse that can pin Earth's mightiest hero, but the storm Nada is bringing to Earth will send even this harbor woman running for land. After corrupt technology turned her world into a wasteland, Nada is determined to drag the entire galaxy back to the Stone Age. really not a great motivator, not a good story. We got the Feral 5, which is really lame, a waste. The Ferals are just boring and annoying. I hope we never see them in a book again. It had decent art though, but otherwise there was absolutely nothing special about this issue at all. That's worth why I think I was pretty graceful giving it a 7. Now, for the bottom of the barrel, this was the one that killed it for me, made me go, I am probably never reading any more of this series. I don't even think this series will last long, and that's Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville, issue 2, which is a shame because I like these characters. I gave this issue a 4 out of 10, where they had 72 on League of Comics Geeks, 72 out of 92 liking it with a 3.5 average rating, so they give it a lot higher score than I did. Am I missing the boat here? So anyway, writer is Joanne Starr, artist Nacha Bustos, and colorist Tamara Bonvillain. Yeah, wonderful. Guest starring Ambush Bug, because, you know, nobody gives a crap about Ambush Bug, let's be honest here. What's Smallville's fight club without any fighters? While Ice discovers the magic of community heroism. I think I hear my cat. No superpowers are required. Fire's latest scheme to restore their former glory begins with Ambush Bug? Yeah, I mean, really? And this is just a boring read. I mean, there's completely childish dialogue in this. But here's the thing. The humor in it is not for children. So it's not for children humor, but with childish dialogue. It's just written ridiculously out of character as well. Seriously, who is this comic for? We have porn jokes, but yet it's written and drawn like it's for a younger market. Absolutely horrible dialogue, lame art, poor coloring, very overly simplistic. I could barely get through the issue. This issue was trash. I don't think I can bring myself to read issue number 3 unless I was to get out the old shotgun and take a shot at this thing. This was an absolute turd of a book, in my opinion. Does it have any same verse? I mean, I especially like Ice, the Ice character. I can't stand her in this. I can't stand Fire at all. She's terribly written. This is just, ugh, this book is horrible. I must be missing the mark or something. Please tell me in the comments below, who is this book for? It can't be for kids because the perverse humor, but it can't be serious for adults either because the dialogue doesn't match any kind of thing for adults. Is it for edgy tweens or you know, that shouldn't be reading this probably in the first place? I don't know. It's just garbage in every state that it is. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for taking time to watch this. I want to say thank you to these people here. Without them, this channel wouldn't be possible. They've been continually supporting this channel. If you want to too, you can help as well through Patreon, Subscribestar, or a one-time donation down below with the Streamlabs link. Or I have, by the way, if you join the Patreon things, you get access to all my music and things I put up on there in special videos. But there's also, if you want to just do a little bit of a donation through the shop, you can go to the Patreon shop and buy it. As long as like $3. I was going to put it for $1, but they won't let you go that low. $3 is the minimum threshold they allow, so I put it the lowest. So if you want to give a one-time donation and get something, you can do that too as well. Thank you, everybody, for your time. You've all been fantastic. Until next time. Keep it frugal.